So today I'm gonna do the service on the rear end here. Pretty simple. You just take off all the bolts, you know, clean it up, get all the old oil out, and then get yourself a new gasket, put it back together, torque the bolts, fill up the differential. It's about 2 3/4 bottles that you need to fill it up, so pretty nice and straightforward. But most people, you know, don't do this service because it sounds harder. You know, I mean, it does take a little bit of time, but pretty straightforward. So just follow along. We'll go ahead and take care of this real quick. Once you get all those bolts out, let it drain, and then you can just go ahead and clean, you know, the old oil out of there. Any of the silicone RTV that's under there. I like to use brake cleaner to clean all that really good. Try not to smell some of that stuff. I like to use a knife to clean all this off. You can use like a little, you know, wire brush on a drill, or they sell those discs also that you can put on your drill, or like your little air tool. Whatever works for you. clean the surface area really good. I like using a gasket, but you can use just RTV. This is what the vehicle had right now. Only RTV, they never used the gasket, but I personally like to put a gasket in there. Then you also want to clean all your bolts, so I'm just gonna get my wire brush, clean them really good. Alright, that took a little longer than expected. Just clean up your bolts, you know. I used the wire brush by hand, clean them up, clean the old RTV off of them, hit them with some brake cleaner. At this point, there's different things you can do. They sell the chrome housings, they sell the aluminum ones. There's a bunch of different options. The aluminum ones are a couple $100. The chrome ones are like $30, $40. If not, clean your old one really good. Clean all the gasket material off. You can paint it or, you know, do whatever you like. This is another one I had here in the garage. So same rear end, just this is actually aluminum as well. I just cleaned this up really good. Just lifted the aluminum. I already put a bit of silicone in the gasket, and personally I like to put a bead on both sides. Some people like to only use the gasket, some people like to only use RTV, so really that just depends on your preference. I'm just gonna put a bead on the other side here. When you order the aftermarket covers, you have an option of ordering like it's kind of like a thicker gasket. I'm not 100% if it's reusable, but I know it's thicker material. But I never used one of those, so I don't know if they're really that much better, or, you know, it's just a waste of paying like $20 for one of those. I don't know. This is just a factory gasket, so this is just a, I don't know, $5 gasket here. Alright, so I'm just gonna go ahead and slip this cover back in here. Since I have silicone on the inside as well, I'm gonna not let it touch until I make sure the holes are lined up. So I'm gonna start this bottom one, and then now I can pretty much push it in. Now if you're only using RTV, you know, do a thicker bead, put it on there, hand tighten them, let it kind of flash dry for 10-15 minutes, and then tighten it up a little bit more, and then probably let it dry a little bit more. Since I have a gasket, I still do the same thing. I, you know, tighten it by hand, let it dry like 10-15 minutes, and then I go back and torque them to specs after that, but just to let that silicone cure a little bit. And then all these covers are going to have a couple of these, so make sure you put them back, usually on the side top bolt here. This one's missing the other side, which usually will tell you what gear ratio's on there, but a lot of times people take these off and they forget to put that back on there, and you know, you'll never see it again. Again, these are just hand tying. I'm gonna give it about 10 minutes and then torque them to spec once that silicone's a little bit kind of dry. Alright, went ahead and got the coverall installed, torque to specs, and I got the oil ready to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the plug that's right in that area there, and then I'll go ahead and fill it with the oil, and we'll be all set. So that's all taken care of. Spray some brake cleaner in there to clean off the diff. I don't know if you noticed, I got the jack and I put the jack stands on the body and let the differential drop. That way when I hold the tube, you know, that way pretty much gravity pulls the oil in there. If the differential is higher than your tube, it's really hard. You have to squeeze it and you can't get all the oil out of the can. So you know, that's just a easy tip. Let the diff hang, and that way it's easier for you to put that oil in there.